Hotel Black Power, y'all. It's your brother Shaka saying Kofa. Um, what I really wanted to talk about today is, how, when you're dealing with revolution and you're dealing with black liberation and you're dealing with black salvation of our black nation, you always have certain levels to everything that you do. It's always levels to everything that you do. But first of all, before I begin, let me go and give honors to the Creator, to the ancestors, Brother Harris Abdul, all the other brothers and sisters that I personally made a connection with when they were in physical form, that have made their ascension. I give honors to you all, and thankful that I was able to interact with you during your journey on this plane right here. So and also special Hotep and Black Power and Ashe to all the brothers and sisters and all our ancestors who shed their blood, in their mission and their sacrifices that they made and the beatings that they took and the rapings and lynchings that they underwent, for us to be here today. Your life and the blood that you shed will never go in vain. But let's get to the subject at hand. I'm talking about there's certain levels to revolution. There's certain levels to black liberation. You have those who come at a very articulate level, very intellectual level. You have those who come at a very spiritual level, and you have those who come at a very revolutionary level, and then you have those who come at a no holds barred level. Now, this is the key where we get confused at. We think that the ones that have the no holds barred, and the revolutionary level are the realest ones, and that's not the case. Because once again, it's levels to everything. You've heard of a quiet storm. You've heard of the most dangerous people are the ones that don't say anything and things and cliches of that magnitude. However, you have the spooks who sat by the door. You have those who are very humble, very quiet, very soft spoken, but some of those brothers and sisters are the most dangerous and the most committed brothers and sisters in terms of revolution, in terms of even armed revolt, in terms of black struggle for our salvation and our liberation. So don't get it twisted because someone has an intellectual approach or has their dialogue is very intellectual and very articulate and soft spoken, that means that they're soft. And see, that's how a lot of our brothers and sisters have lost their lives with that type of approach. And underestimating and sleeping on people, to use a street term to be more effective. But we have to understand that we also need people at various levels. We need people that work in the government. We need policemen. We need firemen. We need doctors. We need lawyers, as well as the military. Now, I've already explained to y'all several times before that we already have a military. They just have to be re-instructed on who is the real enemy and how and to be redisciplined. You have hundreds of thousands of Bloods and Crips and GDs and this BGF, and various different organizations and groups and gangs that need to be restructured, redisciplined, and reformated and educated as to who is the real enemy and how to go about and when to go about to implement the military regime in terms of our liberation and salvation. In other words, we need some real leaders. For instance, like the BGF, they're mainly in these jails and prisons, but what they do is they extort people of color. They extort their own brothers, for cigarettes, narcotics, and commissary and things of that nature, and even kill their own brothers. But they're supposed to be revolutionaries. That whole organization has to be reformatted. We have to have some leaders put in place, that's going to implement a highly structured regime. And especially specifically in the prisons, where a lot of our brothers are dealing with illiteracy. A lot of our brothers are dealing with no social skills, no vocational skills, and they have to be properly trained. They have to be properly educated. So when they make their transition, those who are coming back out into society, they'll be able to adjust properly, plug into the right organizations and movements, and hook up with the right people so they can go ahead and elevate themselves to their God level. Because everybody has to be on a on their God, on a God conscience, on a God frequency. I have a younger brother who is far more articulate and was conscious, was demonstrating so many different levels of consciousness before I was. Who's very articulate, at times soft-spoken, but at the same time very, very dangerous. I won't reveal his occupation. I won't reveal any of that. I'm just using that as an example of that, and also to let you know that I know these people personally. So it's gonna take some real leaders to stand up, and take a non-fearless, stance and approach into reconstructing all these gangs and all of these organizations to have them in order. Just like, for instance, like I had mentioned earlier, those brothers who are coming home from the jails and prisons, what they need in terms of being plugged into the proper sources, proper resources. But those who unfortunately have sentences that are extensive prison sentences and life sentences and so on, we can't give up on them either. What we need to do is support them in any way we can. If it takes a financial sum to give to one of these so-called white Jew lawyers to possibly get these brothers back in court and get a reduced sentence so they can, have some type of light at the end of the tunnel, then we have to work on things like that. We have to go in and make sure that these brothers that will be remaining behind, that they are secured, economically, financially, and whatever. So, and also trained, so the brothers that are coming in, they'll be able to, educate them and restructure and rediscipline those brothers. Now, this is the flip side. Of course, you're gonna have a few that you can't tell them nothing. They're their own man and all this old bullshit. This, because they've overdosed on BET and a whole bunch of movies, and been misinformed and miseducated, and basically are afraid to link up with their brothers for fear that they may be exposed, because you have these brothers that they're supposed to be so fearless that they don't have any weaknesses, which is a goddamn laugh, which is a fucking joke. We all have weaknesses, plenty of them, but we have to be able to not be afraid to be exposed for these weaknesses and be around people that can secure us, and can help us elevate and strengthen those areas that we have weaknesses in. But like I said, you're gonna have those that that refuse to just comply. They've overdosed on BET, they've overdosed on gangster rap music, they've overdosed on white supremacy, and they're gonna have to be dealt with, more than likely eliminated. So this is the business. This is the business of liberation and salvation. This is not about being friends and linking up, because you're gonna have some people, close friends and relatives, who refuse, to link up with their own people for the liberation and salvation of the black nation, and they have to be eliminated. That's the only way we can. That's the only way we can cross the threshold of liberation. And that's why, the people that I had mentioned in the newspapers, and Steve Harvey and Jim Brown and brothers like that, and sisters, Stacey Dash and Negro bedwenches and what have you, nothing's changed. They still have to be eliminated. Because it's no such thing as, these people do know what they're doing. It's not like they don't know or never been exposed to any level of consciousness. That's bullshit. Because to go against the grain of consciousness, you had to have a level of consciousness at one time. So, I'm not buying that shit about, they just don't know. I'm not buying that shit. So, and it's just like a person that uses drugs. At one time, before you use drugs, you were taught not to use them. So you knew, you were conscious, of what damage drug use would do, because you were informed and educated about it prior to engaging in it. But you chose to engage in it. And like most of us, we don't think the consequences that happen to others won't happen to us. And that's total bullshit. So once again, like I said, we have to, these gangs, because they're in the, our brothers and sisters are in the millions in these gangs and organizations. But they need new leadership. They need, they need to be re-educated, and redisciplined. Once again, vocational, social skills, because a lot of our brothers and sisters don't know how to hold a cordial conversation, because they look at everything that has any level of intelligence to it as being white, and that's bullshit. So to talk like you are a runaway slave in 2017 indicates that you are lacking in social skills. And if you're lacking in social skills, that means you're lacking in vocational skills. So, we have to take a fearless approach. Once again, a fearless approach, and not be ashamed to step forward and say, yeah, brother, I'm fucked up. I don't have a GED. I don't have a high school. I didn't make it through high school. I can barely read and write, or I cannot read and write. And I need some help. I want to plug in, man. I want to really be a father to my child, because that's really very selfish for you to sit up there and hold, your children, hold your seeds, and not able to read and write. What can you teach the baby? But once again, that's another generation of illiteracy on account of your false pride. So all that shit has to be put to the side. And another thing, the drug subculture. We have a lot of people, man, that, refuse to acknowledge that, they have a problem, with drugs and alcohol. Mainly alcohol is a silent killer, because you have a lot of people that say, oh, I don't do crack, I don't do that other shit, all I just drink. But alcohol is a vicious goddamn drug. Alcohol is vicious. And a lot of people won't admit that they have problems with alcohol or they are alcoholics. That's why I give honors and my hotep to the brother Ricky Bell from New Edition. Because he didn't have to reveal his struggle with alcohol and drugs. But he took an unselfish approach to expose himself, non-fearless, put his pride to the side to expose to the world, this is what I was dealing with based on what I was going through, and success came too quick. I was overwhelmed, and this is what it led to, because once again, if you notice in that movie, these crackers kicked the brother that first trained them, the brother that was with them from the beginning. They got rid of him because he wasn't bringing money in fast enough. But he was actually he's the one that actually instilled discipline and training into those brothers. And he gets no credit. And another thing, and I'm not going to stay on the movie, I'm not even going to really go into it, but one of the other things that I despise about the movie was that, they never showed or never mentioned any of these boys' fathers. Whether they were in their lives or not, it still should have been mentioned. They still should have had shown or talked about or discussed something about these fathers. They make it appear like they were born without a man, without a man's assistance. That was the thing I didn't like about it. But however, the movie was a phenomenal, spectacular, and once again, hotep to the brother Ricky Bell, because I know and I understand why he done. He implicated his personal life. He went in on that piece because he wanted to help others. Because, it's a lot of brothers and sisters that's out there in the entertainment industry that are too ashamed to step forward and admit that they struggling, with substance abuse. Which is not a secret, because if you come from nothing and you've been in the hood, surrounded by it and engaging in it, and then all of a sudden you have overnight success, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, once you get millions, the drug addict mind is going to tell you that now you can do all the drugs you want because you can afford it. So, it's no secret, about that. You don't have to pick teeth to find out who's doing what in the industry, because most of it is obvious anyway. And that's how, these crackers do our brothers and sisters. If you don't wear the dress, they'll say you on crack and all this type of shit, and if you don't, participate in homosexuality, because the white man he's infatuated with the black man's penis and and the muscles in his eggs, and and a lot of us buy into that. Tupac did it too, who got in the bathtub naked with gold chains and all that wrapped around his nuts, and in front of about 50 fucking crackers taking pictures and all this shit, and that doesn't take away the fact that the brother was a phenomenal individual, man, that was in so many ways a prophet, but at the same time, he got caught, like they say, with his drawers down, So and that's what they do. They make you take these shower scenes, and they want to film your butt gyrating, in the queen, because they the white man loves that. He's a freak. He loves that, man. you know. But anyway, those are the things that we need to do to work on, our liberation in terms of our brothers, in terms of a military regime, and we also need to be educated, to, and have a vocational skill, because they're going to, according to Trump, with this wall being built, it appears that it's going to be a lot of job openings in terms of the construction field. So a lot of that, and if so, then that means hundreds of thousands of our young brothers can be able to get into that field of work, whether you like it or not. I've done construction early on. As soon as I got out of the service, I couldn't even find the proper employment. Because that be all you can be shit. Didn't apply to anybody of color. So I've done all sorts of jobs. Fast food, construction, trash truck, all sorts of jobs. Because I had a daughter to raise, I had a daughter to take care of. And I wanted to look out for my family. And I was willing to do anything. In terms of employment, to put bread and butter on the table. So, and this type of energy has to be instilled into our babies. It doesn't make any sense that, you have a child that hasn't worked a day in their life, but they have on a $500 Helly Hansen jacket, and $200 LeBron James sneakers, but never has worked a day in their life. And then when they finally get arrested because they can't get what they want, then you look at them, you want to place blame on them when the blame is on you. And you sisters that, you have these infants with these, these North Face jackets and all this shit on, you're not doing that for that child. You're doing that so other people can say how good of a mother you is, or how much you'll spend on your baby, and how much you'll hold it down. It's not even for the child. That's some stupid shit. That you're going out your way to do, so you can receive some type of accolades and compliments from some other people that are ignorant to the situation too. Yeah, you got your baby with a $500 jacket on, but you're getting on the bus. You don't even have a vehicle. Some of you don't even have your own place. And it doesn't make any sense, And that's another area that we're going to have to deal with. Economics. Boycotting these holidays. Christmas. Thanksgiving. The 4th of July. All of these holidays where we spend billions of dollars. And we can save those, we can put these dollars together, and work as one race and begin to build town after town with our own with black businesses. Because it's a damn shame, that the Koreans sell you hair. Because our selfishness and our greed, our personal greed, hasn't afforded us the opportunity to be independent and entrepreneurs. Because we're the biggest consumers on the planet. We spend more than anybody. We spend on everything. I'll give you an example. The Jew, his dollar circulates into the Jewish community 18 times. Meaning it go from 18 different white Jews' hands before it leaves the community. The Koreans, 12 times. The white community, well, all of them are white. But the Anglo-Saxon is 11. The Arab, all, that's about 8. The black community, once. That's one. Once it gets in your hand, you hand it right over to the Koreans, to the Jews, to the Arabs, anywhere except your people. And the thing you'll say about your people, I will support black people, but their shit is too high. It has to be a little more higher than the rest for right now, because our people are trying to establish entrepreneurship, and we need capital to do that. Of course, all the other ethnic groups and races can sell their shit at a lower price, because they have a chain of fucking stores. How many black people how many blacks do have chains of stores, or even more than one store? It doesn't exist. So we have to be patient and understanding. It's not about people wanting to be to rip people off and be greedy or anything like that. We're just most of the and I've talked to a lot of black businesses. Of course, I don't want to pay more than I'm supposed to, but I'm willing to spend that extra dollar, in hopes that black businesses can expand. And that's the only way it can be done. You niggas will spend everything at Walmart. You niggas will spend everything in Safeway and Giant and Foot Locker and Shoe City and Downtown Locker Room. You go all out for that shit. But you won't do anything for your own people. And Popeye's chicken and all of this shit, and that's part of the post-traumatic slave syndrome that we're dealing with. And we gotta really come up with some strategies for us to to be able to once become independent once again and self-sufficient. Trump, he may put us in a position where temporary oppression, may benefit us, because, it may bring us together. It may bring us closer together, where we have no choice but to work with and among one another, so we can go ahead and become independent once again and liberated. We don't have any liberation when you have to punch a clock to these crackers every day. But yet some of you slaves brag on the plantation you worked on. How you one of the top slaves. Just take these same mentalities, the same mentalities that a lot of our people have. Just go back about 150 years and listen, and you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a GS this, I'm a GS government slave. I'm a GS9, I'm a GS10. I've been over the boss house. He fucks with me. You know what I'm saying? He know my wife and all this shit. I done been over their house. I done played golf with him. I done been on his boat and all this. Sound like a goddamn slave. Sound like a goddamn slave. And then a lot of y'all will turn each other in. You go to the white man and say, oh, so-and-so was stealing, or he was late. He come in late every day, boss. I'm tired of this, boy. I know we getting tired of this, ain't we? I seen him do something yesterday, boss. And we have to stop that bullshit. People like that, and that's why people like that have to be eliminated. I've heard what people say, they got motherfuckers on their job or say some shit like, we gotta save money. That's not your goddamn money. Talking about we gotta save money. It's costing us money. It ain't costing you a motherfucking thing. You goddamn cooning motherfucking Tom and motherfucking piece of shit. You know, that type of shit, makes my blood boil. You know, because people like that, man, they hinder black liberation and salvation. They also disrupt unification among blacks in the workplace with that slave house nigga mentality. You know, you see 4 or 5 brothers and sisters at the water fountain. You run back. Instead of you engaging in a conversation and find out a way that y'all can all get a raise and stick together, you go back and tell a motherfucking cracker they congregating at the motherfucking water fountain. You know, people like that, when they get off work and get on these trains, they should have their goddamn heads opened up for that shit. Open his motherfucking head up. You know, because it's uncalled for in 2017. And I'm talking to you niggas specifically. You motherfuckers know who you are. That tell and mumble and do all that dry snitching and all that shit every day. You motherfuckers know who you are. Because some of y'all play like y'all the toughest motherfuckers in the workplace. But y'all the sneakiest motherfuckers. Y'all the sneakiest motherfuckers. And that's your disguise. Playing like you don't take no shit off nobody and all. That's just a goddamn front. You know. And, that type of shit has to be, you motherfuckers have to be eliminated for that type of shit, man. Because it's uncalled for. And for those who didn't know, that bootlicking shit is no longer needed. According to Trump, ask Stacey Dash. Ask that bed wench. Nick 2016 Coon Train Award bed wench of the year. Ask her. All that shit, all that ass licking and ball sucking and dick licking that she did to Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, and all them motherfucking crackers and devils at Fox. Soon as the day Trump went in office, they got rid of her ass. They got rid of her ass. You know, so white supremacy, they don't need house niggas no more. They got the real goddamn thing now. They got the whole goddamn lineup. Sessions, Giuliani, and the house niggas, they already picked the house niggas. Ben Carson, he's gonna be running HUD. You know, and he's gonna run HUD with a whip. He's gonna run HUD with an iron hand and a whip. So, he's already mentioned that people that receiving SSI, disability, food stamps, monthly welfare checks and all that will be drug tested once or twice a month. And if you come up positive for drugs, you will be cut off your services and your benefits will be terminated. And so it's time, and this is just a warning to those who get out there, you sell your food stamps for dope and all that type of shit, trading shit for drugs and all that. You have enough time, you have ample time to clean your motherfucking act up if you want to continue to receive benefits. So, it's this shit ain't a game no more. It's not a game no more. And it's time for us to. It's like I said, Trump might put us in a position. This oppression might put us in a position where for the better of us. And he may do more for us than Obama done, just to make Obama look like some shit, and to ensure that we will never vote for anybody of color again, because we don't want to receive the same results that we got with the Obama administration. Y'all can holler at Obama shit all y'all want. He didn't do shit for black people. He never even went over none of the shooting victims' houses. None of the brothers and sisters that were murdered by crackers, he never visited them, he never called them or nothing. But the Sandy Hook shit, he personally sat in these crackers' living rooms and cried with them. He did that shit in Dallas, he did it in Orlando with all those fucking fags, which all this shit was a hoax anyway. However, he still done that. You know why? Because he was a good white president. And he was a good gay president, because he was all for gays, He was all for the gay shit. He was all for gays. Gays got play. Latinos got play. And you're going to see what's going to happen, that shit, because Obama he was involved in a lot of homosexual shit before he was elected. A lot of y'all don't want to accept it or believe it, but I'll explain that on the next video clip. Because Obama, you'll see you'll see what I'm talking about. Because he got down with some boys too. He got his dick sucked from some niggas, and some crackers. Michelle is way thorougher than him. Way thorougher than him. And then his daughter's getting into the movie industry. I don't know how she's gonna turn out, but she been puffing on some motherfucking weed, and getting her drink on, I just hope she don't marry or fuck with no motherfucking crackers, So you young brothers out there just, that got something going on with yourself, man, if you ever have the opportunity, to run into her, man, go ahead and, put your bed in and do your best work. She ain't no different from the rest of the queens, but I'm just saying, as far as, in the direction that she's going, because she has a clean cut image now, which we know that's bullshit. When people are too clean and blemish free, that means a rack of shit going on, so, but anyway, we'll talk about that at a later time as well, And finally, I want to discuss, how you brothers, you make all these gangster rap movies, these gangster rap songs, about riding down, putting C4 in people's houses and duct taping motherfuckers and killing queens and raping queens and killing motherfuckers and all that shit, hitting motherfuckers with choppers and clapping and all that shit. But none of you motherfuckers have ever made a song about riding down on the cracker. None of you. None of you. None of you. And that's the real enemy. So as far as I'm concerned, that gangster rap shit you ain't doing, you just a bitch. All you doing is just bullshitting and faking. And that don't make sense when, you'll kill your brothers and sisters, but you won't kill the real goddamn enemy. You are a motherfucking coward, man. And I'll tell any of you motherfuckers that in your face. And I know you'll get mad and, want to jump out there at me. But you won't do that to the cracker. That's why you'll jump out there at me or somebody that's putting you in place. I ain't worrying about you jumping on me because I'm not going to back down anyway. But you'll go all out though. But you won't say nothing to the cracker. He finger fucking you every day with your money, with your record deal, with your contract and everything. You just go right along with it like a motherfucking hoe. So I don't want to hear that shit about I'm a ride or die motherfucker. I'm holding my own and all that shit. You full of shit and you bullshit. So and like I said, we had these Latinos, that been out there bumming money and all that. Like I said, I mentioned to y'all, for those who didn't see a couple of videos, clips when I talked about that. Anyway, the police was locking them up, and they were, this motherfucker was hollering and crying. Illegal. Here's a crypto. Please, no lockup, please. I just bumped change. Here's a crypto. And then you had niggas taking up for him, crying. Old lady, black lady crying. That don't make no sense. They fucking with him. But there was a brother out there, you know, and I mentioned, what about him? Oh, he ain't nothing. He be out there every day. And see, that's the type of mentality, man, that's just purely fucking sickening and disgusting, man. You know, like a lot of y'all right now watching that stupid bowl. People, you done spent your goddamn electric money, your electric bill money on some motherfucking hot wings and motherfucking beer and all that shit, to see who gonna be, MVS, most valuable slave. It's nothing wrong with sports, because I played, football most of my life, but at some point, when you understand the politics of this shit, then you have a different approach. Now, I still watch sports periodically, but that fanatic level, I'm not there. And our brothers, and sisters are hell of athletes, multi-talented, God phenomenal. Nobody's better than us in anything that we do. However we're being used, we put on the auction block, they bid on us, and then we go to a certain plantation and perform. But once we get injured or fucked up or don't produce like they want, they send us to another plantation till finally they throw us off of all of them. So, we all know about that. And that's the sad irony of all this bullshit in terms of sports, man. But I'm gonna be getting back with y'all in a minute. So until again, brother, Black Pile, Hotep, peace.